And we are live. Yay!
Yay! We're live.
All right. Thank you for waiting. And we will just get started. Steve will share the screen and we will be starting real quick. Hold your seat.
There we go. Can everybody see the screen?
Yes.
Oh, that's right. I can't hear you. So anyway, welcome. Welcome to everybody joining.
Let's wait a sec for more folks to join and we'll get started. See, we're up to 30. As soon as the popcorn stops popping, we'll get started.
There you go. And because I'm sharing my screen, I can't see all the names. Normally, I want to say hi to each and every person that I.
We're at 24. See some familiar names there.
Call them out. Say hi.
All right, we're over 30.
If you see familiar name, maybe say hi. Or maybe you know what? I'm gonna do the same thing. Let's see. Hey Joe. Hey Matthias.
Hello.
We will get started in a few moments. We're just waiting for more people to join. But welcome on this wonderful Friday.
Hey, Ajita. Hey, Bob. Good to see you, Joseph. Hey, Padma. Let's see, who else do I know here? Hi, Tricia. Hey,
What's
Stephen.
Trisha? Is that Trisha Mulcahy?
No, this is Tricia Broderick.
Oh, hi, Trisha.
Let's see, who else do I know here? Hey, George.
So how many people had to deal with snow the last couple days?
Hey, Sheila.
It's only been a dusting here. Everyone around me seems to be getting snow except me. I get a dusting and then it goes away.
Yeah, in
Gabby says 3 inches of snow. Not too bad.
All right, that's enough to go sledding. You gotta like that.
Yeah, Loudon, we get a dusting and the schools get closed. Hey, Prashamsa. Good to see you.
Hey, George.
Hey, Carrie.
Lakshmi, I really like your hat. I gotta say, it's looking it's looking pretty good on you.
Thank you.
And I'm getting used to Mateus wearing the pirate hat. So
I know,
I think
right?
if I
Me
ever
too.
see him without the hat, I may not recognize him anymore.
You listening, Matthias? Yeah.
Yes.
Something goofy. Yeah.
There's my good old friend Edel. How are you doing? Good to see you. Hey, Jesse, welcome. Loop, Nicole. Awesome. Good to see you guys. Happy Friday.
Hey, Nicole. Good to see you. Padma, Ajita, I see.
Yeah.
Bob, yes.
And on that, Gabby, yes, confirmed. We cannot hear you, but I can see what you are typing. So maybe I can I can say that here.
Yes.
And because I'm sharing my screen, I can't even see who's signing in. So I'm not being rude. I'll know I would love to say hi to you.
Oh, maybe I will be all of your broadcaster. If you have something to say, just type in Hoover and I will read it for you out loud. If you
That's
have
awesome.
message for
Yeah.
someone, oh, you know what? Valentine's Day is coming. Do you have a message for someone?
Ooh,
No.
that will be.
I wish my wife was here. I would have said it. I love you, wifey. And she will just say, hey, Wolfie, just shut up.
You can still say it because it will be recorded.
All right. I think we've kind of topped out at 50. I think we can go ahead and start.
So
Have we
one
topped
quick
out?
thing before we go live. What I'm seeing on Hua is just a screen, and we are not seeing the folks around it. Is that my user setting, Nash? How do you want everyone to set up their screen so that they can see more?
uh, that is so in Hoover, you mean, right?
Yes, yes, yeah.
Yeah. So when someone is talking, there's this black bar which shows up on top, and there are two buttons. There is a one minus button and a rectangular button. So if you click on minus, it will just go away, and then a rectangular button which shows up right there next to the screen share.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Thanks for the tip.
Mm-hmm.
I have a
All right,
question as
just
well.
time check.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes, you may, Sally, the beauty
If
queen.
I just stay here and I don't have, because I only have one screen, I don't have dual monitor, and I'm so afraid about going back and forth. What am I going to miss? Is that okay for just, or am I going to miss the chatting? What would I be missing?
I don't think you will be missing anything as long as you don't require the second screen. Totally okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and just so Sally joined us in here. Do we have any other? Hold on, let me quickly verify. So we have CP, Lisa, as well as, yeah, looks like whole all people, all the panelists are here, and we are live. People can see us in Hoover, and we are chatting. It's so nice to have everybody in here. And with that, Steve, over to you, sir.
Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team. Everything is awesome.
Everybody, make sure you can see Mateus.
Live it our dream.
Wonderful. Oh, check out Lisa and Mateus should be doing children's parties together.
Side by side, you and I gonna win forever. Let's party forever. We're the same. I'm like you, you're like me. We're all working in harmony. Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team. Everything is awesome when we're living our dream.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this wonderful Friday night. We are so excited. We've got some amazing speakers tonight, and we have an amazing lineup for the entire weekend. Now, before we get kicked off, we're going to talk a little bit about our sponsors, our code of contact platform, cool stuff, community, all kinds of wonderful, wonderful things. But we are here to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the Agile Manifesto, and it's truly, truly an amazing moment. And tonight, in particular, this February makes it even more special because not only do we have some truly amazing speakers coming up, and it's the anniversary of the Agile Manifesto, but it is also Black History Month, which we should all be very proud of. And today is the Chinese Lunar New Year, and it is now the year of the ox. So we should be out lighting off firecrackers, and we should all be wearing some red, and hopefully everybody's having a wonderful time. So this is a truly, truly special day. And in a couple of days, it is Valentine's Day. So make sure you do something good for that too. So first of all, we are here and because of our very generous sponsors. We've been blessed by these, and Toby in particular went out and got lots of sponsors and really did a fabulous job there. Our platinum sponsor is Deloitte. Our gold sponsor is Anika Systems, and we have silver sponsor Avantera. We could not provide this without these wonderful sponsors. Our bronze sponsors, we have Lightspeed, Orca Intelligence, Ecom Consulting, Coach to Reach, Agilius, REI Systems, IC Agile, and we have some marketing partners. We have Agile Alliance, and we have Agile 20 Reflect, which was really the spark of this idea. They were doing something, we got wind of it, and we went forward with it too, and they've been very helpful as we go forward. Now, as we go forward the next couple of days, because we have tonight and tomorrow is also a big event, we just have a typical code of conduct. We want to be respectful, be kind, be courteous, be inclusive, be professional, and most of all, be agile. This is the first time we've done this type of conference, and we've had to become agile through the entire process. Now, we are lucky enough that we have this amazing platform called Huva, and Huva allows you to go in, and if you haven't had a chance, go in, make sure you can see the agenda, as well as make sure you take advantage of some of the community opportunities. You can go in there, you can communicate with others, you can join a raffle for later tonight, and you can communicate with all the speakers and with each other. So it's a great place to be. Now, we also, tonight, we have a listen and win contest, which could be a lot of fun. We had a lot of great feedback last night. So what you do is when you're listening to our wonderful keynote speakers that are coming up in just a minute, go to the community space topic and look for what did you learn from keynote and this will be Lyssa Adkins and a number of others because she really turned it up to 11 tonight. And enter, post what you learned in the session, and someone will win 25 bucks for Uber Eats that you can use tomorrow, and that will be sent out to you. We also, tomorrow night, we have a raffle. We have a number of fabulous authors, and you can get a signed book from quite a few people. You can also get some free training or some discounts on training. So make sure you're here tomorrow. You need to attend the conference, and then tomorrow around 4 o'clock, we're going to be doing the raffle. Okay. Now, we have been blessed. We could not get everybody who wanted to join and speak and share into the conference because it's just so many wonderful people that want to help. So we did create a number of lightning talks. We have a lot of pre-recorded lightning talks. I took the screenshot when we had about 20. We're now up to another 10. And I know some of you have submitted things. I've been trying to get them uploaded today because more and more are coming in all the time. And some of these are brilliant bits of information. If you have 5 or 10 minutes, it's worth going over to a20dmv.org and checking out the lightning talks because there's some really fabulous material there. Now, here's the team that has helped put this whole thing together. We've been working on this for months, and I absolutely love all of these organizers. Some of them have been close friends of mine for a long time. Some of them I just got to know the last couple of months, and every single one of them is passionate and is dedicated, and I'm honored and blessed to be part of this team. We also have these amazing speakers. Some of these people you will see tonight, some last night, some tomorrow. These are amazing, amazing people. Most of them are from the local district, Maryland, Virginia area, and we are blessed to have them all. And here is the A20 DMV community. Now, I've been working very hard on this. We've all been working very hard on this. And people ask me, Steve, what the heck are you doing? Why are you doing this? And the bottom line is, look at all these smiling faces. Look at all these people. And this is why I'm doing it. This is my why. I love the fact that we have such an amazing community. The community means a great deal to me. It was just about a year ago when Tricia Mulcahy and we were going to host a meetup at Marriott headquarters, and it got canceled because there was this whole thing going on, this whole new thing, and it scared a lot of people. And it's probably a good thing that we did cancel it because we were going to have 65, 70 people together, and that may not have been a good thing. But remember, it was just a year ago when this is how we used to roll. This is how we used to communicate. This is how we used to be together. If you look at some of these fabulous pictures, maybe I would go to a play with some friends in New York, would go to Agile meetups, would go to conferences. It might be it might be going to holiday events. And if you're really stupid, you might decide, hey, it's a great idea to take 15, 10-year-olds to go play laser tag. Not the smartest idea I've ever had. But we used to be able to touch each other. We used to be able to shake hands, hug each other, and stand next to each other. Today, we can't. But that doesn't mean everything changes. We have inspected, we have adapted, and this is how we roll now. So this is our team. This is how we feel. This is how we are passionate. This is how we stay together. And as long as we continue to build a team, to focus on community, to reach out to each other, we cannot be defeated. We are not going to let this little 2020 kill us. We're going to continue to grow, and we're going to grow together as a team, and we can still have fun. So I am honored, I am blessed, and I am grateful that each and every one of you is here. And this is why we put this on. This is why we do it. And we can continue to grow together. All right, so the next couple of days, we're going to reflect, celebrate, and collectively figure out how we're going to evolve through all of this. Right, so coming up in just a couple of minutes, as soon as I stop talking, Lyssa Adkins, we invited her to come and she graciously accepted. And then a couple weeks ago, Lyssa loves things at 9 and 10. That's where she normally runs, but she turned it right up to 11. And she invited 4 of her dear friends to come and share their stories as well. They're all going to introduce themselves, but there's Sally, Elatta, Christopher Richardson, Antoinette, Coetzee, I hope I pronounced your name correctly, Sharon, Guerin, and we're just so excited to hear their passionate stories. And Lyssa, thank you so much for not settling on a 10 and really taking it up a notch. Just absolutely love that. And then later we're going to have Jason Hall and Marcia Acker. I don't know if you've heard them before, but if you haven't, they're fabulous. So make sure you stick around for them. I love listening to both of them. They both have so much to share. This is going to be so exciting. So here is our keynote. They're going to be presenting. And before they are, Lyssa asked everybody to put on some hats. I cannot wear my best hats and keep on my headset. So I'm wearing this one. And as you see, Sally, she's loving her hat. She's loving her tiara there. She can't stop touching it. And so anyway, we put together a little montage here. And right after this, when this stops, Lyssa's going to take over and kick it off.
I wanna cut it loose, not sure that I can do this without you. Now I'm lost and I'm broken, dripping like the ocean. Heart's been cut wide open, changing, and I know we're the other side of you. That's what I've been trying to get used to. But you know that I'm holding on and I'm upside down, on my way to the upside now. I'm on my way out. I don't know if I'm right side up, I'm inside out, but I won't give up. I'm on my way to the upside now. To the upside been climbing up these walls, there's no one left to catch me if I fall. It's just me and my thoughts, I get so low, but then the
I want to thank Lakshmi for creating that. Thank you so much. And Lyssa, we're just going to turn it over to you now. Thank you.
All right. I hope you enjoyed that, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to Upside Only. I want to just say a few things, and then we're going to hear 4 really inspiring stories. And, you know, those of you, some of you know this, maybe not very many of you do, but I love the origin of words. And I'm always looking up, you know, how do words get to be like they are? What were their roots? How did they change over time? And so I looked up the word celebrate. And from the 1550s, the common notion of celebrate at that time, long ago, was to commemorate or honor with demonstrations of joy. To commemorate or honor with demonstrations of joy. So that's what I'm inviting us to do tonight, because joy is always available. Joy is always available, and so is disappointment and discouragement. And it depends on which one has your attention. And so tonight we are turning and swinging our attention toward joy. So we invite you into that mojo with us. We are commemorating 20 years of Agile's positive and pervasive impact. We're honoring how far we've come. And we are making demonstrations of joy. So this is the upside only. We can get back to our disappointments tomorrow. We can get back to the things that didn't go as well as we wanted, the things that drive our desire for continuous improvement. They'll be there tomorrow. Tomorrow is soon enough. For now, we're bringing in the positivity. Now, it's said that it takes 5 positive encounters to balance every 1 negative encounter. That's how weighty, that's how heavy negativity is for us. So tonight, we have 5 positivity injections, and their names are Sally, Antoinette, CP, Sharon, and me. You're going to hear stories of progress, inspiration, dedication, vision, and success. Plenty to fill your heart up with gratitude and with a healthy sense of pride for how far we have come and how much there is to genuinely celebrate. So we are starting with Sharon Guerin, and I'm so excited to hear Sharon's whole story. Let me just give you a little introduction to her. So she is a gourmet chef, and she is the founder of The Culinary Queen. And she specializes in healthy cooking and keto-friendly dishes. She caters delicious food for events like you would imagine someone like her does, but she also is a private chef. And one mother credits her with healthy food and how that healthy food significantly reduced the pain and increased the quality of life of her 12-year-old daughter who suffered terribly from migraines. That's just one story, and there are many of them. So how Sharon strikes me is as someone who's very big-hearted. I've only just met Sharon, but that's what comes across to me. And I know her as a very good friend to Maria Mattarelli, who many of you might know. She is one of our most successful serial entrepreneurs in the Agile world, and someone who works really, really hard and often needs a good friend like Sharon to help her take care of her health. So Sharon, you're a good friend. That's what I know about you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So take it away, Sharon.
Okay, so hello, and thank you everybody for coming to hear all of us speak. I'm so humbled and so appreciative to be here. It's just the next step in my personal agility progress, and I'm thrilled. So I just wanted to tell you my story and how I got to personal agility and what it's done for me in my life. One thing that I do say now is that no matter your situation, no matter where you are in life, you can be whatever you want to be, and you can do whatever you want to do if you apply the personal agility systems to what your dreams are, what your goals are, and just finding out what really matters to you. So a little bit of my backstory is that I was a single mom who had grew up in some abusive situations and just was not ever really given the tools to do the things that I had dreamed that I could be in my life. You know, I always knew from a young child that I wanted to do something that was fabulous. I can remember now thinking about it as a small child. And, you know, in 2017, I watched The Secret. And this was before I met Maria Mattarelli. And I knew then that I had made a choice to do something different. And then when I watched that, I actually went to work and I talked to my boss that Monday morning. I watched it on a Saturday, on a Monday morning. And I told him I was striving to be a personal chef. And I told him, I said, listen, as long as I sit here for 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, I'm never going to do or live within the gift that God gave me. And then I need to go. And so I did. And I started to just really manifest things in my life, and just kept talking about anytime anybody asked me what I did for a living, even though I was driving Uber, driving limos, doing on-call for a home health care agency, doing shift. I was working 5 different jobs and still struggling. I was determined though. And so not even, so that was November 2017. In end of June, beginning of July of 2018, I pull up to the airport, and who's standing there, all fabulous, gets in the back of my Uber, Maria Mattarelli. I honestly believe that was the defining moment that changed my life. Before she got out of the car, she said to me, "What are you doing in 3 days?" And I said, "Nothing." I had talked to her and told her I was like, wanted to be on TV. I wanted a YouTube channel. And she said, "Why don't you do it?" And I was like, "Because I'm old. I don't know how to." And she was like, "What are you doing in 3 days?" And I said, "Nothing." She said, "Bring food. We're going to shoot your first YouTube video." And we did that. And I tell everybody that she discovered me. So shortly after that friendship began, she started to show me and coach me on personal agility, and just to really hone in and find out what really mattered to me, as far as, like finding the 3 things that really mattered to me. And what they were my career, my finances, and my health. And so we started to really work on those 3 things. And what I did is I took those sticky notes and I wrote them, and they went on the dashboard of my car. So every day when I got in them, I knew, and I looked at what was really important to me, what really mattered to me. And was I doing something every day in my priorities map that was in line with those 3 things? And so, as we all know, chaos comes in and things happen. But as Maria coached me and we went through my priorities map and we met every week, I started to change the way I thought and the way I did things. And then it just, different doors started to open up, and I started to make better decisions, and I started to not to struggle, because I went every year before I met Maria, I had negative a bank account every month. And so it was always robbing the Peter to pay Paul. And then she just showed me a lot of good things in my business, and, how to apply, personal agility to my business and to my personal life. And I'm getting a little nervous. Anyway, so I just started to make different decisions in my life, and I started to follow that priorities map. And when we started to do that, I realized that there was things in my personal life that also needed personal agility and needed to pay attention to in order to make my business and my personal life thrive. So I think they go hand in hand, and a lot of it is about making a choice. And so I started to choose differently and to lay the footwork for success. And now, after like the first year of business with using personal agility, my business went from, just starting, didn't know how to do it, didn't have a YouTube channel. Now I have a YouTube channel, I have a website, I have Instagram, I have Facebook. I went from struggling to making over 6 figures debt-free in my first year of business. In the second year of business, right before COVID hit, I was sought out by what we had already done the previous year. I was found by a family that is very influential in this area, and a billionaire. And he hired me and is paying me 6 figures just to cook for his family. So everything that I was doing was opening these doors, and I'm doing all the things that I wanted to do, all the things that I dreamed I could do. And my life situation is so completely different than it was before. The home I live in, how my family looks at me, how my community respects me, just by using personal agility, by getting all of the minutia out of the way and focusing on what really did matter to me, and knowing that concentrating on that would make a difference in my life and the people that was surrounded by me, by their lives, and how they looked at me and how they respected me, and just making better choices. And then so going forward, now also in April of 2020, Maria and I sat and looked at, on my priorities map and the things that really matter to me. And I was like, Maria, I haven't really paid attention to the health part of it. In June of 2018, my mom had passed. In January 2020, my dad passed due to obesity, bad health, heart disease, diabetes. And I said to her, I said, well, we need to work on this. And so I went and made a priorities map for just my health and found out what really mattered to me in that. And now it is less than a year later, I'm 55 pounds lighter and I'm exercising. It makes my business better. It makes everything mentally is better also. So what I really believe is that with personal agility, there's not anything you can not do. It's just about really making clear decisions, making clear choices, and dreaming big. I now I look to go to the next level of things that I want to do. So now it's not even just, being on TV to be a cooking star. I want to now inspire the world that they can do whatever their heart desires to do.
Oh, Sharon, how wonderful. Yay.
Thank you.
I have only heard parts of that story. I love hearing the whole thing from your own telling of it. Thank you for sharing it with us.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I know you're inspired out there, everyone. So next story is from CP Richardson. So CP is a team-centric coach. He's self-employed. He's currently a scrum master at the Washington Post. He is the co-founder of Agile in Color, which has the goal to enhance and create opportunities for Black Agilists and thought leaders. So I met CP a few years ago at the Agile Alliance conference when this guy kept showing up to Audacious Salon sessions. Antoinette Coetzee, who you're going to meet in a moment, she and I were the curators that year of the Audacious Salon, and this guy kept showing up. And I kept noticing that this person's a really good thinker. Like he's really has a sharp intellect. And more than that, he's an open learner. So intellect and learner are the two things that really stood out for me. And I knew from listening to him interact with people in the Audacious Salon that he was very articulate. And I thought to myself then, this is a couple of years ago now, probably, I thought to myself then, this guy's voice needs to be heard more. So when this opportunity came up and we had the idea for these upside only stories, I contacted CP and he, thankfully for all of us, he said yes. CP, it's all yours.
Awesome. Thank you, Lyssa. What Lyssa won't tell you is that when I got that message, I said, oh my God, Lyssa Adkins gave me a shout and said to participate in this. And my next immediate reaction was like, oh my God, Lyssa Adkins asked me to participate in this. I'm just happy that she looked out for me and I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to share my story. I'm gonna just dive right in. If any of you all know me in person, the first thing I always say, hey, my name is CP Richardson and I used to be a firefighter. That's basically my opening lines for anything, because that is something that a particular part of my life that I am extremely proud of. And spending that 4 years of my life helping others, and then being there for some of the folks' worst days as possible, even some of their great days. And really what I want to do is kind of like tie that story in to how agility has impacted my life, and just also how like the two resonate with each other. So for me, my entire life has been based off of service to others, making sure that, I'm there to help somebody when they're in need, making sure to be able to provide whatever I possibly can for them, and to be able just to say, okay, I hear you. I am here to help you in any way that I possibly can. Whether it was when I was a kid as a Boy Scout, whether it's in a fraternity, a service fraternity that I was a part of, whether it was being a firefighter at the time, or whether it's being an Agile coach and being a Scrum Master. My overall #1 goal is to make sure that people have what they need to be successful. And that was solely my intent and purpose. And one of the best things when it comes to agility and when it comes to practicing working in this community is that no matter who you reach out to, no matter whether it's, hey, I have a question about this thing, or I'm just like not really necessarily getting it, or taking a step back and reflecting on your performance. There's always somebody who's willing to help you and always willing to provide that feedback to you. As I mentioned, I'm a firefighter, and one of the most important things is that we're always ready for a call for service. We're always ready to be able to help somebody in their time of need. We're always ready to answer, whether it's day or night. We're always there to take that step and make sure that we can at least be able to rectify somebody's situation. And one of the things that I've found when it comes to being a firefighter and when it comes to practicing agility is just that need for whenever somebody needs you, is you're there to help them as much as possible. I can't tell you the number of countless times that I've actually been able to, that I've gotten a message from one of my team members, or whether it's somebody in this community to say, hey, can you at least lend an ear? Can you help me, regardless day or night, whatever time it is, they're asking for the help. And for me, I am always willing to help because somebody was there to help me. Somebody looked out for me, and somebody was there to be able to support me through my career and through my journey. And that's really what this community is about. That's what the upside about this community is that it's very rare that you find somebody who's not willing to help out. And one of the things I will always be remiss in that I always want to call out is that one of my favorite mentors, Valerie Santella, who I worked with, she is one of those people where whenever you call, text, whatever, she's always willing to help you out, and she's always willing to lend an ear, regardless of whether it's professional or whether it's personal. She's always there. So moving forward, so as I've continued on using agility, as I continued on being in this community, what I have found over time is that there are limited opportunities for people who look like me. There are limited opportunities for thought leaders to stand out and be able to give provide their perspective and provide their thoughts on how the community is operating and what things that they encounter being in this space. And one of the things is that not only that there's limited space, limited opportunities, the people, when there are opportunities, typically because the people who look like me aren't necessarily have the right skills or have the right network, some of those stories go by the wayside. And so what I've done, and I actually worked with one of my close friends and colleagues, Andrea Robinson, we actually ended up creating the organization called Agile in Color. And really what Agile in Color is giving a stage, giving a voice, giving a platform for people, for people who look like me, for people who are trying to break into the business, or people who just want to learn more, people who want to hone their skills, people who just want to find a community that understands the struggles outside of just those everyday duties within your professional life, right? And that's really what this organization is about. And it ties back to the thing that I most love, and that is being able to help others. By building Agile in Color, I'm able to continue to extend that helping hand, to extend that service to others, to extend anything that I can potentially provide to those individuals. And the thing about it is that you're able to see some of those benefits immediately, because if it's not something that I can necessarily provide, I know somebody else in this community can absolutely provide for our members, similar to how they provided that for me. One thing I do want to leave you with, because I would be remiss if I didn't ask you all, and this is more of an action item for you all, is just to take a few minutes to just look back and look at all the people who you work with, or the people that you've interacted with within this community, and asking them the question, what can I do to help you? What can I do to make sure that you're successful? What can I do to help you just get a little bit better? It's the same exact question that we ask of our teams in our professional life, or the people who we interact with. So I really want you all to take a second to be able to do that. And last but not least, I would love for you all to take a second and just go to search in your Google bar, Agile in Color, and actually sign up for our meetup group and be able to get involved, because we need people within our network to be able to help create a larger platform for people who look like them. So yeah, that's all I got.
Thanks so much, CP. Thank you. We've heard stories from Sharon about personal connections and personal agility, now from CP about community care and about the hands that were given to him and how he wants to offer those same hands to others. And CP, you might not know it, we have a connection. Valerie Santillo was one of my very first Agile Coach apprentices way back when she was making her shift from project manager into Agile.
Oh, Valerie is so awesome.
Yeah. Shout out for Valerie Santillo. All right, folks, up next is Antoinette Coetzee. Antoinette is a team leadership and enterprise coach. Her Agile roots go all the way back to XP and to Martin Fowler in particular. She's an Agile coach and a trainer, and she is a business owner and an Agile first mover in her homeland, South Africa. And we are dear friends, Antoinette and I see right behind her is the picture she painted when we were together in one of those things where you sip wine and you paint pictures together. I have one that looks not as good as hers, but similar.
I wouldn't say that.
So Antoinette, I just really want to, there's a lot of wonderful things about Antoinette, but I just want to point out kindness and hospitality. So I went to South Africa to help her launch Agile coaching classes there. And she took 10 days of her vacation time and spent those 10 days with me and my family, taking us all over South Africa, including a long trek from Cape Town, way in the south, southernmost point on the African continent, all the way through the country, all the way to the very northernmost part when we went on safari in Kruger National Park. And my husband and daughter consider her part of our family. And so I'm very glad that you get to meet and hear from Antoinette.
Thank you so much, Lyssa, and thank you for asking me to be here as well. So in case what you're wondering what this getup is, this is what I looked like when I first encountered Agile, by the way, So now with COVID, I'm sure that you can see all the gray. But I'm here to share a story with you, an Agile success story, probably of a different kind. When we think about Agile successes, we tend to think about business outcomes and, shorter time to market, bigger market share, etc. And although I firmly believe that that's the real, the real value of Agile and true metrics, I want to tell you a different kind of story. So, there were tangible business benefits, but I believe that there were benefits that I see in every single place where we touch with Agile. That go far beyond business outcomes. So the scenario was a small organization, only about 1,000 people, an affiliate, South African affiliate of a UK company. And we were asked by the CEO to come in and build engagement in these people. He'd heard about Agile, he'd heard about Lean, and thought that maybe, if he looked at Lean and the Lean values, that potentially that was what he was looking for and what would make a difference. So we started out, I'm not going to bore you with all the details of systems entry and visioning and all of that. We asked for 10 people after the initial contact, 10 people to self-select and be part of the change team. So, they engage their areas through facilitated conversations, and we started having a look at what are the things that really need attention in the organization. So we did a lot of the Agile and Lean practices as well as experiments in the organization. I really believe in following an experimental approach. So there were retros and Kanban boards and flight levels and education sessions and value stream mapping and all of those good things. But really what I want to get to is something that I learned after about 2 weeks, after starting in earnest with the organization. And it came out in a conversation that just a year before, the entire top level management of the organization one day got up and left and started their own company. So what was in place at that point was a CEO that was imported from the UK who was going to be there for 18 months. And the level just below the senior management team had just got lifted up into directorship and, exec leadership, basically. They were not ready for it. It was completely unexpected. They were not a team. England had to send somebody to come and help this organization. So you can imagine the atmosphere that was there. So people were, any trust in leadership was completely eradicated by this very sudden move. And it's filtered down into the whole organization, and people really, in low trust environments, people bond together in quite small groups. And this was exactly what was happening. And as a result, it of course had an impact on the delivery of the organization as well. So I don't know about you, but I really believe that we are our best tools when we work as agilists. Being the way that we would like people to be, especially leadership, engaging in a way that we believe is honoring, non-violent, and creates collaboration, and just showing up in exactly the way, no matter where we are in the transition, showing up in the way that we would like leaders and people in general to show up is what I believe is really what gets people to absorb agile and lean through osmosis. So, so I believe in a coaching approach as well. So we were like on tenterhooks and really making sure that we are not pushing anybody to be ready for anything at any point in time before they were. So we tried all of these. We had, the constant communication, openness, transparency, and really, what we did was things that 26 years ago when I first encountered XP, that I didn't even know existed. Never mind, lived and breathed them. So that's my personal transformation as well. Throughout the years, that's my inner agility. And so slowly and softly, working mostly at the change team level, we brought this kind of thinking, this kind of way of going about things, this kind of working with people into the organization. So every single change team get together. We brought more thinking about how we are acting, how we are being. We very quickly, the change team members identified that the big problem was us, so you always let the client figure it out for yourself, revealing the system to itself, and they brought in really crazy ideas about how to solve this. One of them, me thinking, my gosh, one of them having a pool tournament, so there was a big pool table in the cafeteria, and they started a pool tournament. And I thought, okay, well, this is the best way I've ever heard of doing communication on a change project, but it actually worked really well, so people all across the organization started taking part, and they published the results. It's Friday evening, it's very late, so excuse me if I stumble over my words. And slowly but surely, trust started growing, relationships started forming across the organizational departments. So where people used to communicate through the tracking tool or through emails, people started walking down to or walking over to somebody else's desk to share something with them, so this was the first smell of something changing. One of the things that worked really well was to equip change team members with the ability to create psychological safety in their retrospectives, for instance. So all of a sudden people felt like they mattered, their opinions mattered, and therefore they start bringing ideas. And what happened at the same time as well, so I mean, those are the things that we know generally starts to happen. What happened at the same time as well is that one of the directors in the senior management team realized that this was so in touch with his own personal values of what he wants to create that he became the lean agile transformation director. Now, why am I telling you all of this? Okay. If you looked at the people involved in that change team who had an effect on everybody else, there was not a single member that 2 years later did not have a different position. Some of them left the organization. They changed two of them actually became coaches. So they changed careers completely. Okay. Every single one of the other ones was promoted. Okay. Some of them even more than once. Okay. A very interesting thing was that it was not a technology organization. They had a call center, and they treated call center people basically like sheep. A call center person cannot be trusted. A call center person will just, will spend, if they've got earphones on, they're just listening to music and not answering calls, like all sorts of really treating people like objects. In one of the change team members' teams, we decided to try an experiment. It took me about, 6 weeks to convince them to try this experiment, but they decided to try an experiment to give them a little bit more autonomy. Okay. And they were blown away. So what that did for the call center teams, which was about a third of the organization, they got more autonomy. They started becoming accountable. They started contributing to solutions, and overall the service level in the call center went up by something like 30%. Okay. Every single one of those call center agents got validated as a person. And that's what made the difference. Okay, they through change in the organizational structure, they focused cross-functional teams on customers rather than in functions, and all of a sudden those call center agents were able to move to positions with more authority, more challenges and more money. There was a career path all of a sudden for them. Okay. In the leadership team, when we looked at what's changed for them, they had gone from being a group of individuals to a real team. The phrase when we did a retrospective with them 6 months later was, "We have one another's backs." I mean, one of the biggest things for me was that the CEO in this publicly said, "Well, I have learned how to listen to my people." Okay, so yes, in general there was an increase in throughput. They started doing better. The SLAs were kept, etc., etc. But that's not really what made me, what made me grateful for having worked with them. What made me grateful was that there was a number of people. Not only the change team members, not only the members that they worked, but there were a large number of people that actually personally impacted, positively impacted by the change that we brought in under the name of Agile and Lean. And for me, that is why I do this work. Organizations may change. In this particular case, after 2 years, they brought in a new CEO. Frankly, I don't know what's left of the Kanban boards and all of the flow stuff, but I do know that they still regularly respect. I do know that their employee engagement, in terms of if you measure it by how many people are leaving, that's gone down. Okay, I do know that there are people that believe in other people and believe that there's a way of working that can be satisfying and is not just a job. And to me, that's what we do. That's why I do this work that I do. If we can just affect one person in an organization. If we just give them more possibilities, more ways of making a difference in the world, then I believe we've done our jobs. Yes, we want all the business things as well, but we are changing the world one person at a time. Thank you.
Thank you, Antoinette. Love hearing that story. Maybe you do too. So it's one more story before we're done, and you might just want to take a little stretch. Yeah, allow that joy in, allow Antoinette's genuine gratitude and satisfaction in the work that she's doing and how it changes people and organizations in, because that's what we do together. So you just heard about using Agile to help turn around a company that's in dire straits through its people, but what about when it's a country? What about when it's a whole continent of nations? That's what you're going to hear about next. And I want you to meet Sally Elatta. She is a serial entrepreneur. She has had a company that does Agile coaching, training, and consulting, and she is now the creator of Agility Health. Agility Health radars in particular to help scale the goodness of agility as fast and effectively as possible. And she is a contributor to the emergence of business agility as a discipline and as a body of knowledge and practice. Beauty and drive. That's what I think about when I think about Sally. She is a very busy lady, but she always has a moment to stop and acknowledge you. And when she does, you know you are in the presence of beauty, not only external beauty, but internal beauty, the whole thing. She has a drive to accelerate transformations at every level. And every time I turn around, she's creating a new company or a product to do just that. So please meet Sally Elatta and let's enjoy her story. It will be our final story of the evening.
Thank you, Lyssa. I appreciate it. Hey, everyone. Good evening. As you can see, it's getting dark over here in Omaha, Nebraska. So you're slowly going to see the darkness happen. Lyssa, I just want to thank you first I want to thank the DMV conference and for inviting you as a keynote, but I want to really thank you for making this space for all of us. I miss everybody. I really, really genuinely miss being around people. I really miss the conferences. I miss the hugging everybody. Obviously, we can't hug anymore. So I'm just grateful for having this moment to tell my story here and hopefully inspire you, and that you've made this space available and that you welcomed us into your space. So I have good news and bad news. The bad news is I have slide decks. So sorry in advance. Everybody else went completely natural, but the good news is it's all images. And it was really going to be very hard for me to tell you the story without sharing images, because I think that the images you'll see. It's hard to tell a story of a country that's transforming without the images. So, but let me double check to make sure. What can you see? I think you can see the wrong side. Can you see the right side now? Do you see the big slide?
We can see the big slide now, Sally.
Okay, great. Thank you. My story is a story of being bold and being fearless in the pursuit of what sets your soul on fire. I love this quote by Jennifer Lee. It really represents, a lot about me, which is this being bold, and it actually kind of builds on what Sharon talked about in the book or the movie that she's read. She's watched The Secret, right? If you ever watch that movie, it basically says that you have this big dream. All of us have a big dream, but we don't believe in ourselves, or we don't believe that it can be attainable. And so we just sort of put it out there. But the secret and the concept of being bold is to really believe, right? If you believe it, then you'll see it. You don't have to see it to believe it. So I want to tell you the story of my big, bold dream. And what I had to go through to make some of it a reality. And I think most importantly, what I want you to get out of it is how Agile and how everything that I've learned helped me gain the confidence to do, or to even move the needle in this transformation. So I'm watching TV, I'm watching and following what's happening in Sudan, my home country, and I start to see these images, and the images are literally millions, thousands, but it really got to millions of people coming out to the street, and what they're saying is freedom, peace, and justice. They're saying enough is enough. We are so tired of dictatorship. Sudan as a country has 60% of the population in Sudan are young people. They're under 30 years old. They've been watching the world move forward while Sudan has had a dictator for 30 years. Now I have to tell you, how did I come to the United States of America? Many people don't know this part, but I came here on political asylum. I came here because my father was a general in the military, and he rose up against this dictator that was there, Omar al-Bashir. Because Omar al-Bashir, long story short, but he took over a democracy. And so my father rose, because he was part of the other one, against him. And obviously the coup did not work. And so he was expelled out of Sudan, and I couldn't go back to my country. And so that is how I got political asylum, and now a US citizen of the United States, obviously many years ago, 25 years ago now. But my father leaving Sudan and being a patriot and being somebody who's always had a dream of seeing democracy again in Sudan and seeing the dictatorship fall, this just started to move me at such a deep level. I mean, I can't tell you, these are just some little images, but what you saw in Sudan and the people, and just watching millions of people come out with one voice and just like basically say freedom, freedom, no more, even if you're gonna kill us. We are still not going to go back to our houses. We want freedom. We want autonomy. We want to make decisions. We want to live our lives. My father at this time, because 5 years ago he had a stroke. So unfortunately, I built this house that I live in right now so my father can live with me. But he doesn't speak and he doesn't move. He's completely paralyzed, he was. And so I would show him the pictures. I'd come every day and be like, hey, Dad, look what happened today. Look at the pictures, look at the videos. Dad, it's working, it's happening, right? The revolution, the big dream that you had is happening. So here's my father. I just wanted you to see a picture of him. In the middle of all of this, he passed away. Exactly 2 years ago yesterday, exactly 2 years ago. May he rest in peace. And right after he passed away, everything kind of started falling apart in Sudan. The military sort of came in, the coup happened, the dictator was toppled, but it's very fragile, right? Very fragile. Democracies are very fragile. It's no democracy yet, actually. And so we're like, oh my gosh, who's gonna take charge? And the military started to take over, and they did a lot of violence actually at the time. And I was starting to get live Facebook videos of atrocities happening in Sudan. And I just got so moved that I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? So I created, you know what do all Agilists do when they have an idea? They grab a flip chart, they grab some Post-it notes and a marker. So I'm like, you know what, this is just not gonna work. We are gonna have to do something. The diaspora, people outside of Sudan, are gonna have to help Sudan. The situation was starting to stabilize, and they were now thinking about creating a new government, a new civilian government that would take over, so it wasn't just the military. And while all that was happening, I'm like, I just can't watch this. I feel my father basically handing me the baton and saying, take this over, do something, Sally. Like you're capable, you're an Agilist, you've started a company in the United States of America, you know, being a little girl from Africa, who would have ever thought I could do something like this here? You know, just do something, help Sudan. And literally I went to my office, that's where I'm sitting right now. One of my friends, Saad Al-Kabli, he's a great videographer, came and recorded this video. And with just my vision of how people outside of Sudan, experts, can unite to leapfrog Sudan forward. And I made my bullet points and everything. And then this video actually went viral. And a lot of people got very excited and a lot of people responded. And all of a sudden we had 1,000 experts that signed up using Google Form to say, I want to help Sudan. I want to help Sudan. How do I help Sudan? And then I went to Congress and there was a very big rally in Washington, D.C. So I decided I was just one of the people that was going to speak. So I just went up there and I spoke from my heart, as you can see. I'm a very authentic person. And so I spoke from my heart and spoke in English and Arabic and motivated people. And then that video, just that little short video, had about 1.2, now it has about 2 million views. And so that got me invited to Al Jazeera. If you guys know about Al Jazeera, it's kind of like the CNN of the Middle East. And they're like, hey, we want you to talk about what's happening and what's your opinion. And I was really nervous, you guys. I'm like, what the heck am I doing? What I'm not supposed to be on Al Jazeera. You know, I'm an agilist, I'm an enterprise coach, I'm a businesswoman, I'm an entrepreneur, you know, business agility. This is not my field. I am activist, right? Everybody's like, you're an activist. I'm like, what? I'm not an activist. I don't know what that even means, but I went ahead, you know, because I just felt called. And I did not know the full plan. I worked in iterations, literally, of what's the next thing? What do we need to do to help? What else can I do? And then I met the new prime minister. So there was a new prime minister from a civilian government, and he came here to Washington, D.C., and I got asked to organize the meeting with him. So I organized all of the Sudanese American groups here and helped facilitate that meeting because they really needed a strong facilitator. I cannot even begin to explain to you how chaotic some of these meetings are. And so learned a lot from that and felt very honored. And then I did what I normally do because I know how to build platforms. Like Lyssa said, I know how to solve problems using my skills. I was a software engineer growing up. So I'm a developer at heart. I know how to build platforms. And so I gave everybody in Sudan access to agilevideos.com, so where they can start watching videos and learning. But I built Sudan Next Gen and registered a nonprofit organization, got it to be a 501c3. And basically said, okay, well, looks like you guys need a whole bunch of experts to help Sudan. I think we're going to need to start registering a whole bunch of projects, development projects to help Sudan. And we're going to start creating workshops, like Agile workshops and leadership and culture and interpersonal skills and basic stuff, right? Just to help the country. And hey, let's all come together and do this. Now, mind you, I have to tell you something very important. While this is going on, we were struggling financially and COVID hit. And so this is part of you got to know that, you know, as a person here, as a mother, as a wife, as an entrepreneur, I am being called to help this country, my country, but I'm also at the same time dealing with a company and having to go through layoffs. And that broke my heart. I mean, we've been in business for 11 years and I had never laid off anybody just in a mass layoff like that. And you know, going through the layoffs and having my father be lost and everything, I really went through a mental breakdown. People know me to be very positive, and I am a very positive person. I'm very, I have a really great outlook on life, and I always say, you know, just dream it, it will happen, and move forward. And I'm allergic to negativity, but that really hurt me. The fact that I laid off people, because my whole leadership model is be bold, be real, and lead with love. And I love people genuinely. And so hurting them and having to let go of people just impacted me at such a level that I started to doubt myself. I started to doubt myself as a leader, as an entrepreneur. And I'm like, what the heck am I doing? Trying to transform a country? Like, what the heck, Sally, just wake up. But I kept going because I felt, and I was really pressured by a lot of people, like, just what are you doing? You got to focus on one thing or the other. And I just couldn't. I just felt like my father's spirit telling me, just continue to help, continue to do what you can do. So we organized Agile workshops in Sudan. This was so cool. This was the first big Agile workshop that had ever happened. I was not there in person. There was a whole team in Sudan, and then May Safwat and myself were available online. This is what an Agile workshop in Sudan looks like. There's 350 people that come to it, right? So it's not 20, it's not 25, it's 350 people. And this gentleman over here that's speaking, so this was our instructor, but this gentleman ended up becoming the minister of infrastructure. And he was one of the very first expert groups. Like, we organized all these expert groups and helped them. We taught them Agile, how to plan, how to deliver. And this, you know, this group of infrastructure, and I don't know anything about infrastructure, nor do I know about solar panel, nor health, all of these things, all these groups that we were putting together, I had to learn so quickly, not enough to be an expert, but enough to help them organize themselves to where some of them really excelled. And like I said, this individual that led that expert group became an infrastructure minister. I wanted just to show you some of the pictures because I got teary-eyed when I was on video like this on Zoom, and I was in that room. This was May. May Safwat is amazing. So just kudos and big props for May for helping with all of this, transforming Sudan. Watching people write sticky notes, speaking in Arabic, speaking in Sudanese, and doing Agile. The beautiful thing that I want to tell you is no one here knows that Agile was born in IT. the whole conversation about Agile really works outside of IT. Like we never went there. We just leapfrogged that conversation, right? Like we leapfrog waterfall. And I really wanted to pause and talk about this concept of leapfrogging because Africa, I don't know if you guys know, but many countries in Africa never even went through installing or having hardwired lines, telephone lines. They just went to mobile devices. Like they really just leapfrogged that whole, let's actually have landlines. And they just said, you know what, we're just going to go with mobile. Africa, in some cases, is even more advanced than some of the outside countries in terms of mobile payments. Like they really use their phone for mobile payments more than we even do. And I just got really excited about this idea that Agile and digital transformation and digital technology could leapfrog Africa to the future. They don't even need to have mainframe systems. They can just move to the cloud right away. A lot of these, countries that are now starting to go digital, they don't have the legacy, they don't have the baggage. Again, they don't even know that Agile was built for IT. Can you think about that? Like, I don't even have to have that conversation with them, right? It's just the way that teams work. It's just how we plan. It's just how we execute. All of those teams that I'm working with have nothing to do with software. They are all absolute volunteer teams that are trying to transform a country. So the project could be healthcare, it could be business, it could be solar energy. It was amazing. It was really amazing. And I took a little screenshot here of me watching the session because I was just in awe and I really got teary-eyed because I just couldn't believe it was happening. And we even gave them certificates, right? So Sudan Next Gen, graduates people and gives them introduction to Agile, which was really cool for them because they wanted to see that. Another thing that we did is we said, okay, how do we get more attention to Sudan? And so we put together a short video, and I'm going to share that video with you guys. I don't know if I can do it over there, but I will share it after this, called Google for Sudan. And so we got a whole bunch of volunteers and we recorded this very short video. It's really awesome. I really hope that you can watch it because you're going to learn and see the videos and the pictures of what happened in the revolution. And then we really made a big call for Google. We want you to invest in Sudan. And so this campaign is still going on. If you're listening to me and you're from Google, please give me a call. There's a lot that we need help with to help bring Sudan. I mean, Sudan was been locked out for 30 years and was under what they call a state-sponsored terrorist list. So nobody could do business with Sudan. Even like regular, companies like Microsoft and Google and all of them, all their software was blocked. I mean, can you imagine a country, you guys, that can't use Gmail regularly without hacking the system? So this video we put together with a group of volunteers, and we're now starting a very big movement to get Google to, Google has a goal of 10 million people trained in digital skills by 2022. And so we're hoping to have them really focus on Sudan and in Africa. That's specifically Google for Africa. And then my friend Jessie Fuel, who I actually think is here listening to this. So hello, Jessie, if you're here. Thank you so much for introducing me to Anu. I started to kind of broaden my horizon outside of just Sudan and realize what else is going on in Africa. And I met this beautiful woman, Anu, and she leads an organization called African Agility Foundation. And she just shared with me this inspirational story, again, sitting here in the United States and helping upskill all of these girls in Africa and helping them find job in the digital world. Just so proud of you, Anu, if you're listening to this. And then I realized, oh my gosh, including Antoinette. Antoinette, I took a screenshot of you because I just thought this was the best picture. But all these amazing people are doing really great things in Africa. You've got Abby here really helping with Nigeria and holding the, the biggest African conference. Mohammed Al-Faqih helps in Sudan. Nana has the, agileInAfrica.org, domain and does the biggest conference. Mohammed is in Egypt. Miles and Antoinette are in South Africa. And I was just, honestly, it was like, wow, what can we do as a collective community? And that is really still what I'm really wondering and pondering. Anu actually created a new group for me because she was inspired by the Sudan Next Gen and called it Africa Next Gen. How can we together collectively leapfrog Africa forward? So, and these are just some of the conferences that if you are in Africa should be watching out for: Agile in Africa and Agile Nigeria. But what I want to leave you with sort of at the end of my story, and I hope that it was inspiring for you, is nothing worth having was ever achieved without effort. I have to tell you that a lot of my gut and my, my grit actually and my boldness comes from my mother, because behind every strong woman, there's a stronger one. And what my mother did that I just want to tell you, because I think it was a blessing that I never realized, is she never raised me to be fearful. She always made me feel like I can do anything that I put my mind to. And I'm telling you this because you all have children, you all have, brothers and sisters. I can't tell you how important it is to raise children with confidence, not ego. Ego is bad. Confidence is good. Confidence that, it's okay. And there's no such thing called failure. Just give it a try. Even if it doesn't work, try again, just dust yourself up and get up. My mom gave me that. And I realized as I grew up and became an adult that so many people were held back from their dreams because of fear. And that's what I just wanted to share, is that if you can get over your fear, if you can believe in yourself, if you can go watch that book or watch the movie called The Secret, and just put out there in the world what your dream is, what your vision is, what is it that you're hoping to be or to do, it can happen. And I'll tell you, it's scary when it starts to happen, because this whole thing happening right now with Sudan and Africa, it scares me every day. I'm like, I'm so busy at work. And everybody's like, how do you even have time to do this? But I feel called to do it. I don't feel like I can, look away. I feel obligated and I feel happy and I feel joyous to do it. So thank you for hearing my story. I hope it's inspiring. But I want you to go out there and be bold, be real, lead with love, and make your dreams come true. Thank you, Lyssa, for the invitation.
You're welcome. Thank you, Sally, for that story. I haven't heard all the pieces of that one either until now. It's really beautiful to hear it from you. So everyone, we're coming to the end. I hope that you've heard something that has inspired you or enlivened you or made you think, I could use Agile that way. That's really great. Because we have come a really long way in 20 years. Sure, of course we have more we could do. Of course we have things that are still disappointing or not as good as they could be. And tomorrow is soon enough. For the rest of the evening, morning, middle of the night, Antoinette is here with us in her middle of the night. However many more hours or minutes you are awake, please allow yourself joy. Allow yourself to feel our pervasive and our positive impact on individuals, on communities, on organizations, on groups of all kinds, and on nations, because that's who we are. Thank you, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Wow, thank you guys so much for that. That was so powerful. And no, it's just there's something in my eye. That's all. That's all that is, Sally.
Is it just us? Can they hear us right now?
I believe everybody can hear us.
Okay,
guys,
so it's the after party.
Thank you so much. You really knocked it out of the park. I was expecting something big and got so much more. You guys are truly amazing. Thank you all so much. I feel blessed that you came to join us.
Oh,
And I'm going to reach out to all of you because I want to hear more of your stories. Thank you guys so much.
Okay.
Yeah, so great to be
Thank
with
you
you
so
all.
much.
Thank you. You did
Thank you.
beautifully. You
Thank
did
you.
so beautifully.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it was lovely to
Um,
listen. It was lovely to listen to all.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you to
Thank
each
you
of
so
you.
much, Lyssa and the team. There are no questions per se. It's just a conversation we are all having. How beautiful everyone is, sharing their thoughts and reflecting to what agility, personal agility, Sharon and CP, how agile and color, that amazing things you are doing. They're so acknowledging, and Antoinette, you are changing 1% at a time. Really amazing. And Sally, that is truly amazing. What what it looks like, real problems, autonomy, freedom, peace. I can't tell you how much we are all. We need to hear these personal stories and see how important to bring this transformation. So no question that we are all very inspired. And thanks for sharing all the great wisdom, knowledge here. Truly appreciate it.
You
Okay.
bet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.